Friday. I hope you all have had a wonderful festive period, Christmas and New Year. If you're new around here, then hello, nice to meet you, and if you're returning, thank you very fucking much for coming back. I truly mean that. I feel like this year, although I am a teensy winty, what was it I called it before? A nano influencer, I think, because that's smaller than micro, I don't know. But I'm a tiny wee channel, and I've just got this wee tiny following of people who over the last, I want to say 6 to 8 months has kind of bloomed a wee bit, and I just want to say thanks for being here, to be honest with you. If you haven't been here before though, my name is Alana. I'm a Scottish lady in her 30s, and I just kind of like rambling on about shite like makeup, skincare, the odd vlog, stuff like that. If that sounds like your kind of thing, then please, there's a little subscribe button down here. Feel free to click it if you like. Word of warning, this is your word of warning. I do like a swear word on my channel. It just rolls off the tongue when you're Scottish. Anybody who's watched this before will have heard me say it a million times. But it's more than likely you're going to hear fuck, shite, bugger in my videos. If that's not your kind of thing, then, you know, completely understand. Vacate right now. Anyway, also your word of warning to grab a cup of tea, coffee, cocktail, libation, whatever the fuck you like. I've always said it, it's 5 o'clock somewhere, please feel free to join me in a glass of wine. I have got coffee today though because I am working tomorrow, so trying to be sensible. You know when you get in that crimble limbo and you just think, I could just drink every single day Baileys, wine, beer, before you know it you're like, Jesus fuck. I also have chocolates today. Truffettes de France. Accents are not my strong point. If you've been here for any time you will also know that. But these are fucking delicious, and it is Christmas after all. So this video is going to be my 2020 favourites of skincare. Just a little chat about what I've been using this year, things that really stood out to me this year. The likelihood is it's going to be a pretty fucking lengthy video because I've quite a lot to talk about. I did watch my 2019 favourites back, and there is the odd few things in there that have also made it into 2020. I am going to include a little bit of fragrance in this one as well, so if that sounds like your kind of thing and you'd like to hear a little more, then just keep on watching. Okay, so where to start? Probably the blessed place. Oh, we've started off fucking fantastically, haven't we? Again, if you're new here, we are not professional. Sorry, can't promise you that I'm going to be able to speak nice, you know, advertisement style chat here, because it's not going to happen. Let's start that again. Okay, so where to start? Probably cleansers. I'm going to start there because there has been a slight change to cleansers. I'm still very much a balm cleanser person. I did do a big balm cleanser battle video last year, the year before I want to say, which I did mention in my 2019 favourites, and I spoke about lots of different types of balm cleansers. So there are still a few that I'm still using. The number 7 one I particularly still really like and would buy over and over. The same with the Body Shop one. I think that's a really nice basic balm cleanser. But the one I really spoke about this year has been the Plantastic from Beauty Pie. If you don't know about Beauty Pie, I have lots of videos on Beauty Pie. I will leave them up here, and I'm more than likely, I've already looked into my subscription to quit for January. So I'm not going to be keeping going with Beauty Pie. So if I do keep it going, I'll be keeping it going at the smallest amount, just so I have access to maybe purchase some of these, or I'm going to keep my eyes open for the Pie days. Oh, I'm really sorry, there's some like fluff flying about, and I can't tell if it's off my cat, if it's off my jumper, or if it's just oosey moosies fucking flying about the room. Oh, sorry. Yeah, so I'm going to keep my Beauty Pie membership going. I'm not saying I'm going to keep the payment going. Maybe I'll just continue to be a member, like not leave completely, but not pay the £5 a month. I don't know if that's even possible, I'm going to tell you the truth. This is one of my favourite cleansing balms. I've really enjoyed it. This is the 3rd one that I have purchased. And if you were going to look into Beauty Pie, this is one of my recommendations. Although I have heard from other people that this really didn't work for them, wasn't for them, and they felt it left a bit of a residue on their skin. Maybe because I've got kind of more dry skin, that's why I kind of liked it. But it's completely up to you. If I was using this, I would always follow up with a second cleanse anyway, so maybe that's why I found this was okay, because I always wash my face like a double cleanse at night, and this is when I would be using it. So what would I follow up with my double cleanse? Yeah, it's here again. It was here last year. It's definitely my favourite. I have bought so many of these now. I have a backup one of this. I have a backup of the mini size as well because I happen to win some in a giveaway. So this is my absolute favourite. Now, this is one that I would say probably doesn't remove makeup. It's definitely just a very simple cleanser. It's one I probably use in the morning if I'm going to wash my face. I don't wash my face every single morning, but generally before I go to work and things, like, it just freshens you, doesn't it? It just makes you feel a little bit more fucking awake, to be honest with you. So I do use it in the morning, and generally if it's kind of, if I've had, let's just say for instance I've had a nice sleep cream on or something like that, I won't generally wash that off in the morning because I want that to still stay there and be nice and like in the skin. Does that make sense? If I've used a nice sleep moisturiser. But sometimes those can be a little heavy, and sometimes I do feel that I do need to just wash my face to make it feel clean. So sometimes I'll use this in the morning as well. But I always follow up in the evening if I've used one of these cleansers with this, because it just removes that almost like oil feeling that you might get from cleansers like that. And maybe that's what the people that I spoke to about the Plantastic were feeling, but I always follow up with this, and it's my favourite. I don't feel it dries my skin out. It's for normal to dry skin. I don't feel tight after I use it, you know, like tightness on your skin, tightness on your cheeks or anything. I don't feel that. I think it's fabulous. I think it's a little bit more expensive here in the UK for what it is. I think you can get it much cheaper in the likes of the US and Canada, potentially France as well. Maybe it's a little cheaper in the mainland of Europe. Fuck me, fuck knows what it's going to be like next month when the UK are booted out of the European Union for real, and these things will be like 100 quid. Who knows? Who fucking knows? Can't say I'm best pleased about that decision, to be fucking honest with you. But regardless, I think it's really good for the size, for what you get, and it lasts a long time. Absolute favourite. Now, talking about things like once you come out the shower, once you've washed your face, or even at night time if you so wish, I've got this, but this probably isn't my 2020 favourite. It's just glycolic toners in general. If I had to pick, I would probably be picking the ordinary one, but I do not have a backup of that at the moment, so I can't show you that, because that would probably be my favourite of 2020, but has been my favourite for years and years. It's kind of a recurring favourite, to be honest with you. But I'm using the Pixie one at the moment. This is just a little travel size. Again, won it in a giveaway, but this is really nice. It's really good. Glycolic toner in general is probably my next step, and yeah, I would buy it over and over again. This one, the Lacura one from Aldi even. I know that Revolution Skin do one now. I think everybody and their auntie has got one of these fucking things now, so you can find them anywhere. But the Pixie one is really nice, but my favourite for 2020 probably would have been the ordinary version. I just don't have one to hand. Next up, again, probably no surprise to you whatsoever, it's the Avène L'Eau Thermale. So this is basically thermal water in a can. What can I say? I know people will be like, what the fuck, why? Just use the Evian stuff, do this, do that. You could use a little atomizer bottle, put water in it, spray it on your face. It's really that I just like to have damp skin before I go on with any treatments or essences. So for that reason, I love this stuff. It's kind of cheap and cheerful for what it is. This lasts a very long time. This is the 300ml bottle, I think, and it lasts me ages. I want to say this is around about 10 to 15 pounds, I want to say. I know the smaller one is maybe like a tenner, but I always buy the bigger one when it's on an offer. You get it on offer a lot, so I really like it. I will continue to buy it, no doubt. I don't think anything will take over this. I do like other face sprays and I do try other face sprays, but this is the one I just keep going back to, so it's going to continue to be a favourite of 2020. Sorry, I thought of having a chocolate. For all you know, I've ate 50 of them by now anyway, but I can assure you that's only the second one. Alright, so a new contender, or a new, will we say, category into 2020 has been essences. Now, I have used essences before, but I don't know if there was ever a favourite essence in any other year that I've done this, but it's the Time Revolution from Misha. This is a Japanese, is it Japanese or Korean? Fuck me, I don't remember. It's either Korean skincare or Japanese skincare. I cannot remember off the top of my head, and I can tell you right now by looking at the back, I don't know whether this is Cantonese or Mandarin or anything. I have no idea what that is because I am not that fucking clever. So this is from Misha. This is one I have heard Dr. Dre speak about for ages, but actually the first person that I heard speaking about this was Michaela McDade. She basically must have seen other people on YouTube talking about it, and then she looked into it, and I thought, what is this? I'm gonna look into this. Is this really worth anything? And I did mention this in a roundup not that long ago, and I was a bit like, oh, it's just like water, you know. But the more I used it, I was like, this is lovely. Like, I don't know what it is It looks like water in the bottle, but the texture is not like water. So generally what I will do is I'll spray my face so it's damp. I then put this on, and I then put any of my serums, like maybe a hyaluronic acid and stuff like that on after I've done this. Sometimes in the morning, as I say, if I've not cleansed my face, I might tone my face, then splash this on my face, you know, just depends how I'm feeling that day. There's a lot of kind of sciencey stuff behind this, it being a yeast extract and all that kind of stuff. I cannot tell you the ins and outs of it. I am not that fucking clever or that fancy, but all I know is I really like this. So much so, it was one of the only things I put on a list to Santa. And maybe like 2 things that I put on a list to Santa, which I did receive very kindly from Santa. He was very good. Thanks, thanks. You ain't so bad, big jolly Saint Nick, are you? So I now have a backup of this as well, and as you can see, so I want to say I picked this up October, November, and that's me got through it now towards the end of December, and I now have a backup as well, and absolutely will continue to repurchase. Really enjoying it, really like it, and I know they do different variations of it as well now, so I may have to look into what they do and if there's any point in trying different ones or just staying to the original, but love it. Right, we're going to get into like treatment serums and stuff like that now. Oh, and also I should probably let you know I will link everything I'm speaking about down below, because you know, either I'm going to get the name wrong, I'm going to get the fucking size wrong. If not, I'll get the like I've just said, this is a yeast extract. It probably isn't. So I'll put everything down below. You can go and check out yourself, because I'm just not the best at that. But I'm just letting you know what my favourites were. So I'm going to start off because I think things have kind of changed. Sorry, where's my fucking bullet journal? I had everything in my bullet journal, so I knew what I was going to say to you. Yeah, so I think things have kind of changed throughout this year. Last year in my 2019 favourites, I spoke about vitamin C and how much I was really enjoying vitamin C. And I have to be honest with you, it's something that this year, towards the start of the year and the middle of the year, I was like, yeah, vitamin C, vitamin C. And towards the end of the year, I've really not picked up at all and haven't found an area for it to fit in my skincare routine. And I've probably been using antioxidants a little bit more. I just feel like I've really stripped back my skincare a little bit. In the morning, there's still quite a few steps, but in the evening now, I am solely pretty much using a retinol. And if I'm not using a retinol, then I'm probably using an exfoliating acid. And then some nights I'm not doing either, because sometimes you just need to give your face a break, basically. So now I'm a bit like, would I say vitamin C is in my skincare favourites? I certainly was enjoying the one from The Ordinary, which was the powder, the pure L-ascorbic acid. I spoke about that quite a lot at the start of the year and how I was using it in my routine. But I did just find it started to get like footery. Footery, what does that mean, Scottish? It was a faff. It was a faff, that's not any better, is it? It was just an extra step that I didn't need to be doing, to be honest with you. And I needed to mix up the powder, I needed to do this, I needed to do that. It started to slowly become a chore more than anything to try and sort out what I was using each night of the week. I'm not saying that I will never use vitamin C again, but what I'm going to say is that once that L-ascorbic acid was finished, the powder, or I tell a lie, it was just kind of on the way out, and I thought that probably needs the bin, it's not in the best shape anymore, so I had got rid of it. I never picked up another vitamin C again. So, not going to say vitamin C, but there are things from last year that I have continued to use throughout all of this year and just will not put down. So when we're talking about exfoliating acids there, I'm going to talk about the lactic acid 10% from The Ordinary with hyaluronic acid. This is still the one that I'm going to probably be reaching for in between using my tretinoin. A couple of nights a week I will still try to do this, but I think I'm using more retinol at the moment than I am lactic acid, but I have been trying to do it at least kind of once a week just to try and help with pigmentation and things like that, especially the pigmentation that I have on my chin area. That is basically what I've been using it for. But I have used a few others throughout the year, not so good. The Inky List one I was not impressed with. This is definitely the one I will go back to over and over again. This is my favourite one, and I know I haven't used an inordinate amount of them, but AHA's still absolutely using, loving, and would absolutely continue to buy this. This is absolutely my favourite one. I'm also going to speak about these two from The Ordinary. Now these are the bigger size. These are the 60ml bottles. You can probably see here. That's the lactic acid, it's a little smaller, and these are the 60ml bottles. So I picked up backups of these basically in the large size because I was like, they're favourites. They're just fucking favourites, what can I say? So one is the hyaluronic acid 2% with B5, and the other one is the Buffy, which is their multi-peptide, is it multi-technology peptide serum, sorry. But it's like a multi-peptide serum. And although I've spoken about peptides before and whether or not they actually penetrate and whether they actually do what they're supposed to, it's very difficult to actually have any solid evidence on that, but I really enjoy using it. So these two are still things that I would absolutely use in the morning, really enjoy. And what I have been doing is either having the hyaluronic acid and niacinamide in the morning, or putting my niacinamide at night along with my retinol, because niacinamide helps inflammation so much and any redness and irritation. The other backup I bought at the same time when I picked these up was the niacinamide 10% from The Ordinary. But what I'm going to tell you right now is I am going to use this, obviously, because you're not going to fucking waste it, but it's not going to be one that I will purchase again. Scandalous, right? It's one I've been using for years. I've logged it? What the fuck was that? I've liked it for years, but this year I started using the Inkey List niacinamide and I prefer it much more. The texture of it, the makeup of it, the way it feels when it's going on your skin, it's just much nicer. Therefore, if I do buy niacinamide again, then I'm going to buy the one from the Inkey List. And the annoying thing is, obviously this is a 60ml bottle, whereas the one from the Inkey List is only a 30ml, which is a pain in the ass. I wish they would make bigger sizes, but it is a nicer one and I do enjoy it more. The hyaluronic acid from the Inkey, it's much of a muchness. I'll probably continue to buy The Ordinary because I can get the bigger bottle, but the niacinamide is just much better. So that has definitely been my 2020 favourite for niacinamide, but I just don't have one to hand to show you because I've used it. Another couple items like that I feel are kind of head to head are these two. So this is the caffeine solution from The Ordinary, 5% with, oh god, how do you pronounce this again? Oh my god, I'm not even going to attempt it. ECEG, I can't remember what it means, but it's like this crazy big word, which, let's face it, it's not going to come out my mouth correctly. But I do really enjoy this one from The Ordinary. What I will say is the packaging of this one is much easier. I mean, look at it, it's a squeezy tube. It's so much easier just to put some on the ring finger and pop it under your eyes. That's the only thing. I think the packaging of this one from The Ordinary is a little less user friendly, but people would argue that maybe this is more eco-friendly. Glass still needs to be burnt down and stuff when it's going to go and get recycled. So it depends on which way you look at it. That is a dispute for another video that I'm not getting into right now. But the two products themselves, this is the caffeine eye cream from the Inkey and the caffeine solution from The Ordinary. They are much of a muchness and I like them both equally. So if I couldn't get my hands on this one, I would pick this one up and vice versa. But the two of them I really enjoy, and currently I'm using this one. I've bought this twice and I've bought this about this probably the third time that I've picked this one up. So it was just because I was doing an order from The Ordinary and I thought, you know, makes fucking sense, buy it. I very rarely order directly from the Inkey List. I try and buy their stuff off of Boots because I get points on it. I also get points on The Ordinary from Boots as well now, but they're just never in stock, so it's a bit of a pain in the ass. But the both of them, absolute favourites, very much enjoyed both of them. Continuing on eye creams, it is the QI Energy from Beauty Pie, ginseng root and ginger brightening eye fix. Now, I've had a chat about this before as well, and I have tried the moisturiser version of this. This is beautiful. This is so nice. Actually, is my phone here? I'm going to just double check something. Right, so yeah, I was just checking on my phone there. They don't seem to do this anymore, so I'm so glad that I picked up backups of this when they done their little Black Friday treasure hunt pie thing. Treasure pie thing. That doesn't really make any fucking sense, does it? Well, I think it was supposed to be like a pie hunt thing. I don't know. I have no idea. But the QI Energy moisturiser and the eye cream are nowhere to be found on the Beauty Pie website. So I'm so glad that I bought a backup of this. I will be disappointed if this doesn't come back in stock. But then again, because I'm not going to continue to be a member of Beauty Pie, I'm like, Basically, I think this filled the gap where the Kiehl's avocado eye cream was. I loved the Kiehl's avocado eye cream. It's probably the one that I kind of spoke about quite a lot last year, and interchangeably we'll use it nighttime and daytime. It doesn't really bother me. It's not like this one's a night cream and there's one that's a daytime cream. It's kind of much of a muchness. That filled that gap. It's a fraction of the cost of the Kiehl's one. I really, really like it. I wish I could just buy this in a shop. I wish I could just find this in a shop and buy it for the price that Beauty Pie give you as a member, because I really, really like it. And I know a lot of people will be like, eye creams don't even do anything. Well, you know, fuck you guys. I like it. I'm just letting you know. I know a lot of people will be like, this is nonsense, but for someone who is my age, and the crepes, they're coming in thick and fast, I can assure you. I find it so much more flattering having that little bit extra heavier moisturiser under this area before putting any makeup on. So for that reason, I will continue to do that and continue to look for specifically eye creams for that area, because the QI Energy moisturiser that I told you about, if that had been basically this in a larger pot, then absolutely I would have continued with that, although they've got rid of both now, so fuck knows. But if that was just as good, like a good heavy moisturiser, I'd put that under the eyes. Obviously, economically, it would make more fucking sense, but it's not the same as this, and I fucking hope they're just, I don't know, repackaging or restocking or something, but it's totally gone from the website. I can't see it anywhere on the website anymore. It's not just like it's out of stock. So that's a bit annoying. And finally, I'm going to talk about sun creams. So if, again, because obviously it's changed throughout the year, my likes and dislikes, but if you were to ask me at the start of the year, kind of start to the mid of the year, maybe like May time, what my favourite sun cream would have been, it's probably going to be this. It's the Helioscare Sun Touch, and this is the one with the colour in it. It's got like a little bit of, it's like a gel, but it's got a tint to it. I'm not going to squeeze it out. You can probably see it on the end there. And it's just glorious. It's like luminous, almost like a primer, but it's got an SPF of 50. It keeps your skin dewy and glowy and just amazing. It's amazing, especially for the summer when you're not going to put on any foundation and things like that, because it's just not that time of year. You can't be arsed putting on foundations. Honestly, see these fluffies? Oh my word. If I see have I just got like little floaters in my eyes or something? Like, what is this? I feel like I'm going crazy. Anyway, this absolute favourites, and would purchase it again. I do believe they were asked about whether or not they were going to expand the shade range, because that is definitely an issue. I don't think their shade range is that good, but I do believe following the kind of Blackout Tuesday movement, they did address that and said they were definitely looking into it. But I'm going to be honest with you right now, I haven't followed up to see if that has happened, which is pure show on me. I should do that. But if they expand the shade range, this is like holy grail right here. Holy grail. But if not, then the other one that I thought was really quite nice was this one, again from Beauty Pie though. I'm just shooting myself in the foot here, aren't I? Obviously, I really, really like the La Roche-Posay Anthelios. I think that is glorious sun cream, and I think it's so nice because it doesn't affect my eyes. Quite a lot of sun creams that I've used over the years I find are fine on my face, but the second I bring them anywhere near, or like even on the brow bone here, that is it. That is game over. It's instant eye water time. Not good. So the Anthelios and maybe the Cetaphil that I spoke about last year didn't cause any issues with my eyes, and this is exactly the same. And I think this is really close to the La Roche-Posay. So for that reason, I'm like, oh god, I really like it. So I think it's got, like, it doesn't have that obvious white cast that some sunscreens for your face do. It definitely doesn't have that with myself, but obviously I am pretty fair, and I couldn't speak for people who have a darker skin tone, but I find it doesn't do that white cast thing. And I feel like it is almost borderline greasy because it's got that dimethicone in it, but for that reason I find it really smoothing, and it soaks in. It doesn't go on and it's like that funny silicone feeling and then it never really quite goes anywhere. It soaks into my skin, but I do have really dry skin, so therefore if you had oilier skin maybe you wouldn't feel the same way about this. I certainly thought it was really, really nice, and I'll use this up. We'll see where I'm at with Beauty Pie this time next year and if I'm talking about them as much, but annoyingly so, really, really did love this sunscreen this year. Now I'm briefly going to talk about some fragrance as well, because I feel like last year I probably did talk about fragrance quite a lot at the start of the year and then it's just kind of dwindled off a little bit, but I thought, why not? Oh my god, wait, no, I've got one more skincare thing, how could I forget? This. this bad boy right here. This is Glossy Future Jew. I am putting this in the skincare video. I know some people would say it should probably go into the cosmetics one, but personally I think this is much more of a skincare product because it doesn't have coverage. And for this reason, I think this is lovely. This is something that I would put on and go to work. Nothing else on the face, maybe a little concealer, you know, who am I trying to kid? But a little concealer, that's me. That is all I need. I think this is glorious, glorious stuff. I know there's probably really mixed reviews on this. People probably say it leaves their skin feeling a little oily, a little greasy, but as you can see, I like to be a shiny disco ball, I'm not gonna lie. And I don't like to be a frosty shiny disco ball, I like to be a greasy shiny disco ball, like I've had my face in a chip pan. That's just who I am. But this does that for me. I think it's glorious. It's almost got a very slight pinky undertone, much more pinky than it is golden, I would say, and for that reason that's why I get on with it, because obviously look at me, I am peely wally white here, you can practically see through me. Absolutely adore this, think this is glorious, and this is the second one that I have picked up of this as well, so absolute favourite. And now we can get onto the fragrance. That was fucking silly of me. First of all, last year at the very start of the year I spoke about these, and I still have a couple here. Basically I picked one up at the start of the year. I think I picked up Fleur de Patchouli. This is from Zara Emotions range, but it was in collaboration with Joe Loves / Joe Malone, whatever way you want to look at it. And this one here, Fleur de Patchouli, is absolutely my favourite. I have little roller balls of this, little backups of this, and I think I've probably got through a fair amount of this one even. Oh, get it open. Yeah, and I've got through a fair amount of that one as well. But I've had this since last year and that's how much I've got through. I just have quite a lot of fragrance and I switch it up, what can I say? These are absolute favourites. I then went on to purchase the Tuberose Noir. Again, absolutely lovely because they done little tiny rollerball versions of each of the fragrances, so I picked up lots of different ones and then picked up full sizes of the ones that I really, really enjoyed. So this is the Tuberose Noir, and as you can see here as well, I've made quite the dent in that, but probably need to make a little bit more of a dent in it. Oh, I love that one. I love these fragrances in general, but these were two of my absolute favourites and I would purchase them again. I don't know how long they'll stay about in Zara. Now I noticed these are still there at the moment, but I can't say that they'll be there for much longer because I think the Fleur de Patchouli and definitely the Tuberose Noir I couldn't see in store anywhere anymore, but they have got the other ones, like there was like something Bluebells and Water Lily Tea Dress or something, so there are still, in Amalfi Sunrise, I want to say that was another one, but those I can still see in store. I don't know about it online, I've not checked. I think they've done these in candles as well, but oh my god, so nice. Very, very reasonable as well. I think they were like 25 quid each and they're absolutely huge, so love these. And then I'm going to talk about this, which as you probably know was actually a bit more of a recent purchase. This is Glossier Jew. I did have Glossier Jew in a solid perfume when it originally came out over a year ago, and I love the scent of it. I love the scent of Glossier Jew. It's so comforting, it's like a nice clean jumper. It's so nice. So I did pick up this on Black Friday when they had a sale on. I love it. I think it's so nice. I'm sure everybody's heard about Glossy Jew. It's really not anything that fancy. It's just like you've just took a freshly washed jumper out of the tumble dryer and put it on. That's what it smells like. Not gonna lie. I don't even own a tumble dryer and I fucking know that's what it smells like. But it's brilliant. And lastly, this fragrance is a little bit more off-piste. So this was one my mum got me for Christmas last year actually, and I've actually not used a heck of a lot of it. Probably because part of me is like, oh, it's fancy. I don't put it on that often, but it's Coco Mademoiselle by Chanel. And actually, so I've never owned Chanel perfume before. I always feel that Chanel perfume, not all of them obviously, but the classic ones are a little bit too classic for me. And I remember when I kind of mentioned to my mum that actually I'd got a tester of this and I really enjoyed it, and she was like, oh, are you asking me for a grown-up perfume? And I was like, fuck you mum. But it's true, like I'm fucking nearly 34 and I'm like, this is classy lady, this is classic, but not quite as powerful or, you know, heady as Chanel No. 5. It's just a little lighter than that, and I just, oh, it's glorious. It's so nice, and it's certainly one that I've only kind of worn a little bit more for special occasions. And I did take it away with me when we went our wee trip up north, so I did use it quite a lot then, but it's not one that I generally put on every single day, but it's so nice. Kind of late to the party on the Chanel fragrances, I know, but this is gorgeous. Oh, and how could I forget? I've not even mentioned it. So bam.com. If I was going to say anything about any skincare, any kind of skincare at all, bam.com, absolutely hands down favourite lip balm. Annoyingly, slightly overpriced. Did get this one in the sale. I think they should be priced around the £5 to £8 marks rather than the £10 marks, but it's my favourite lip balm. I will continue to purchase it just because I don't think there's any that is as good as this. That's the honest truth. Just drop it there, why don't you? But I don't think there is any as good as this, so sorry, but this is probably like the third year running that I've said this is my favourite lip balm, and it will continue to be my favourite lip balm. Nothing has beaten it yet. So that is all my favourites for my skincare this year. I hope you've enjoyed that. I am going to go on now to talk about makeup, which this one has been long enough. I dread to think how I even start the next one. I'm gonna just have to rattle through them, quite frankly. But I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you've got something out of it. Tell me what your favourite skincare stuff has been. Do you like any of the stuff that I've just mentioned? Have you picked any of the stuff up that I've mentioned off the back of me speaking about it throughout the year? Don't know, let me know. Or have you heard hype about a lot of the other things and they actually haven't worked for you? Then tell me down below. Otherwise, I hope you're all having a fantastic time, and I hope to see you all again soon. Subscribe button's down here. Do whatever the fuck you like. If you don't want to subscribe, that's fine. Don't leave anything nasty in the comments because you're just a dick if you do. And I'll see you all again in the next one. Bye!